Okay, so have you ever noticed those like little ridges you get on your fingernails sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out they might be more than just like, a cosmetic annoyance.
Yeah.
We're diving deep today into how those tiny grooves could actually be like a window into some bigger things going on inside your body.
Right.
It's fascinating how sometimes the smallest signs can point to deeper issues.
It's like our bodies are sending us coded messages, isn't it?
Exactly.
And what's interesting about these nail ridges is that they're often linked to nutrient deficiencies.
Oh, wow.
Specifically, we see this with iron, zinc, and biotin.
So we're talking about potential deficiencies in those key nutrients.
Yes.
But how do we know which one is the culprit? I mean, they all seem pretty important for overall health.
That's where the detective work comes in.
They're right.
Let's take iron, for example.
Okay.
If someone's complaining about those ridges and we suspect iron might be low, we'd want to ask about their energy levels, whether they experience any unusual cravings, like for ice or even dirt, and get a sense of their diet.
Craving dirt.
Yeah,
That's a new one for me.
you'd be surprised.
But I can see how diet would be a big factor, especially for vegans and vegetarians.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you eat, but how well your body absorbs those nutrients.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And here's a twist. Sometimes even having too much iron can be a problem.
Oh, really?
If the iron isn't being used properly by the body, it can lead to anemia just as a deficiency can.
Wow.
So we'd also want to consider things like liver health, how someone reacts to blood donation, and any genetic factors that might be at play.
So it's not as simple as just popping an iron supplement.
Right.
That outwardly makes a lot of sense, though, when you consider the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got iron.
Yes?
What about zinc?
Okay.
I know it's linked to immunity, but it's involved in so many other things too, right?
Absolutely. Zinc plays a critical role in everything from testosterone production to skin health to even how well we see at night.
Wait, zinc affects night vision.
Yeah.
I'm all ears now.
Okay.
How does that work?
It all comes down to vitamin A.
Okay.
Zinc is essential for vitamin A to do its job in the eye, specifically in creating a pigment that allows us to see in low light.
That's incredible. So if someone's zinc levels are low, their night vision could actually be impaired.
That's right.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
What else can tip us off to a zinc deficiency?
Keep an eye out for hair loss, particularly a condition called alopecia.
Okay.
And like with iron, diet and lifestyle play a big role in zinc levels.
Uh-huh.
Too much alcohol or a diet heavy on processed foods can really deplete your zinc stores.
So we're seeing a pattern here, diet and lifestyle choices making a big impact on these essential nutrients.
Right.
We've covered iron, we've talked about zinc, what about biotin?
Okay.
I've always found it fascinating that our gut bacteria actually produce some of it.
You're right, it is fascinating.
Yeah.
Biotin, one of the B vitamins, is partially made by those beneficial microbes living in our gut.
Okay.
But here's the thing, if those good bacteria get wiped out, say by taking too many antibiotics,
Okay.
it can lead to a biotin deficiency.
So those antibiotics, while sometimes necessary, can have unintended consequences on our gut health and nutrient levels.
Yeah,
Makes you think twice.
that's right. Beyond the usual hair and nail issues, what are some less obvious signs that someone might be low in biotin?
One thing to watch for is brittle nails that break or chip easily.
Uh-huh.
And in more severe cases, biotin deficiency can actually lead to neurological problems, specifically something called peripheral neuropathy.
Oh, wow.
It often starts in the feet.
Peripheral neuropathy. That sounds serious.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
It basically means damage to the nerves in the body's extremities, most commonly the feet and hands.
Huh.
This nerve damage can cause a whole range of symptoms, from tingling and numbness to pain and weakness. Wow, I had no idea a biotin deficiency could have such far-reaching effects.
It can.
Okay, so we've got these three nutrients, iron, zinc, and biotin, all potentially linked to nail ridges.
Right.
What's the common thread here? What ties them all together?
Collagen. They all play a crucial role in the production of collagen, which is a key building block for strong, healthy nails. If any of these nutrients are deficient, it can affect how well your body makes collagen, and that's what can lead to those telltale ridges on your fingernails.
It all comes back to collagen. So if those ridges are a sign we might need to boost our intake of these nutrients, what's the best approach?
Yeah.
Should we just be reaching for supplements?
I always advocate for food first.
Okay.
Let's start with iron.
Okay.
Upping your intake of red meat, particularly liver, can be a great way to naturally boost your iron levels.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know liver isn't everyone's favorite, so grass-fed liver pills or spleen extract pills can be good alternatives. And it's important to note that you don't want to go overboard with iron supplements,
Yeah.
as too much iron can be problematic, as we discussed earlier.
Food first. I like that approach.
Yeah.
What about good sources of zinc?
Okay.
What should we be piling on our plates?
Shellfish, especially oysters, are packed with zinc.
Okay.
Grass-fed beef is another excellent source.
Uh-huh.
And when it comes to zinc supplements, it's important to choose one that contains a balanced blend of zinc and copper.
Okay.
Taking high doses of zinc alone for a long period of time can actually deplete your copper levels,
Oh, wow.
which can lead to other imbalances.
Good to know. It's all about balance, isn't it? Now, what about biotin? How can we make sure we're getting enough of that?
Moderate supplementation can be beneficial for biotin,
Okay.
but equally important is nurturing a healthy gut microbiome.
Uh-huh.
This means focusing on those good bacteria that naturally produce biotin.
So things like probiotics and fermented foods would be helpful.
Exactly. They can help replenish those good bacteria and keep your gut happy and healthy.
This is all so insightful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm starting to see those little ridges on my fingernails in a whole new light.
Uh-huh.
But before we move on, is there anything else we should be aware of when it comes to biotin?
Actually, there is.
Okay.
This one might surprise you. Consuming raw egg whites can actually block biotin absorption.
Hold on, raw egg whites can sabotage our biotin.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
There's a compound in raw egg whites that binds to biotin, making it unavailable for your body to use.
Oh.
So those raw egg white smoothies might not be doing you any favors when it comes to biotin levels.
Wow, you learn something new every day. It really highlights how important it is to look beyond the surface and understand the connections between our diet, lifestyle, and overall health.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's about getting to the root of the problem, not just masking the symptoms.
Well, I'm definitely rethinking my breakfast choices now.
Good.
This has been so eye-opening. It's amazing how something as seemingly insignificant as nail ridges can lead us down such a fascinating path of discovery about our health.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm armed with a whole new set of tools now to take charge of my own well-being.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want to empower you to become an active participant in your health journey.
And speaking of taking charge, what other subtle signs should we be paying attention to?
Yeah.
What other hidden messages might our bodies be sending us?
Our bodies are constantly talking to us, aren't they? It's just a matter of learning to listen.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides our nails, another place to look for clues is our hair.
Okay.
We touched on hair loss earlier, but what about things like texture, thickness, and even color? Can those tell us anything about our health?
That's a great point. I know, like, my hair definitely changes with the seasons, but I've never really thought about it as a potential indicator of anything deeper.
Well, let's take texture, for example.
Okay.
Dry, brittle hair that breaks easily could be a sign you're not getting enough essential fatty acids or certain vitamins. Right.
Like that biotin we were just talking about.
Right. So, brittle nails and hair could be pointing to the same underlying issue.
Exactly.
Okay, what about changes in hair thickness? What could that signal?
Thinning hair can be a bit trickier to decode because there are so many potential factors involved, like hormonal changes, thyroid issues, and even stress.
Yeah, okay.
It's normal for hair to thin somewhat as we age, but sudden or excessive shedding could be a red flag that something else is going on.
It's interesting. So it's not just about the hair itself, but also the rate of change that we should be paying attention to.
Right.
Okay, what about hair color? Can changes in hair color signal anything about our health?
They can indeed.
Oh, really?
Premature graying, for instance, can sometimes be linked to nutritional deficiencies, especially B vitamins like B12.
Oh, wow.
It can also be a sign of autoimmune conditions or thyroid disorders.
Wow, our hair really is like a health barometer.
It is.
What about our skin? What kinds of things should we be looking for there? Our skin is fascinating because it's our largest organ and it's constantly interacting with the environment.
Yeah.
Dry, flaky skin can be a sign of dehydration or a lack of essential fatty acids in the diet.
Okay.
Rashes, inflammation, or changes in pigmentation can sometimes indicate underlying allergies, sensitivities, or even autoimmune conditions.
So paying attention to our skin can give us insights into things like hydration, nutrient levels, and even potential immune system issues.
Precisely.
Okay.
And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Right.
Remember how we talked about iron and how too much can be just as problematic as too little?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's also true for copper.
Okay, remind me, how does copper fit into all of this?
Copper plays a role in iron absorption, but it also helps our bodies create melanin, the pigment that gives our skin its color.
Okay.
So if someone has very pale skin and they're also experiencing fatigue and weakness, it might be a sign that their copper levels are too low.
So pale skin combined with fatigue could be a clue to check copper levels.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. This whole conversation is making me realize just how interconnected everything is, our diet, our lifestyle, and how our bodies manifest those choices.
It really is all connected.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to pay attention to these subtle signs our bodies are giving us.
Yeah.
Don't dismiss them as merely cosmetic issues.
Right.
They could be whispers of something more going on beneath the surface.
It's like we're piecing together a puzzle, using all these different clues to get a clearer picture of our overall health.
That's a great way to put it. And just like with any puzzle, the more pieces we have, the easier it is to see the complete picture.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's the key takeaway you want listeners to remember about all these subtle signs?
I'd say the most important thing is to listen to your body.
Okay.
It's constantly sending you messages, and those messages often show up in subtle ways.
Yeah.
Like changes in our nails, hair, and skin.
That's like our bodies are saying, hey, pay attention. Something needs adjusting over here.
Exactly. And those whispers often manifest as subtle changes in our physical appearance, our energy levels, our mood, and even our cravings.
So it's about tuning into those whispers,
Right.
recognizing the patterns, and then taking appropriate action.
That's right.
But what does taking action look like? Where do we even begin? It feels a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah.
There are so many potential signs and symptoms,
Right.
and it's hard to know what's normal and what's not.
I understand. It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot to take in. But remember,
Okay.
you don't have to become a health expert overnight.
Right.
The first step is simply becoming more aware of your own body's baseline,
Okay.
what's normal for you.
Yeah.
Once you have a sense of that,
Yeah.
you'll be more attuned to any changes or deviations from that norm.
So it's about paying attention to those subtle shifts and patterns that might be trying to tell us something.
Exactly.
What are some practical things we can do to cultivate that kind of awareness?
One of the simplest yet most powerful tools is observation. Take a few minutes each day to really look at your nails, your hair, your skin.
Okay.
Notice any changes in texture, color, or overall appearance. And don't just look, feel.
Okay.
Run your fingers through your hair.
Okay.
Pay attention to how your skin feels.
Yeah.
Are there any new sensations or areas of tenderness?
It's about slowing down and tuning in to what our bodies are trying to tell us.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
What else can we do to enhance that awareness?
Mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing exercises can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
These practices help to calm the mind and bring our attention to the present moment,
Right.
which allows us to become more aware of subtle sensations and internal cues.
It's like hitting the pause button on all the external noise so we can actually hear what our bodies are saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the more we cultivate that inner awareness,
Huh.
the more likely we are to notice those subtle signs our bodies are trying to communicate.
This has been so insightful. It's like we're unlocking a secret language that our bodies have been speaking all along.
That's a great way to put it.
But it's not just about listening, is it?
Right.
It's also about taking action based on what we hear.
You got it. Once we've identified a potential issue, it's crucial to seek guidance from qualified healthcare professionals.
Okay.
They can help us interpret those signs, run any necessary tests, and develop a personalized plan to address any underlying imbalances.
So we're not expected to diagnose ourselves.
No.
It's about noticing those subtle signs and then working with our healthcare team to figure out what they mean and what steps we can take.
Precisely.
Oh, yeah.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
You're the expert on your own body, and your healthcare provider is there to guide you and provide the knowledge and resources you need to make informed decisions about your health.
I love that, a partnership.
Yeah,
It takes the pressure off of feeling like we have to figure everything out on our own.
exactly.
Well, this has been an incredibly empowering and enlightening deep dive.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the incredible intelligence of my own body and the subtle ways it communicates with me.
I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, the journey to optimal health is a lifelong adventure.
Yes.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep listening to the whispers of your amazing body.
And with that, we'll leave you to ponder those whispers and embark on your own journey of discovery.
That's right.
Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.